guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're back here at Dimmitt Chevrolet in super sunny Clearwater, Florida, because guess what? We have that smaller size SUV many of you have been waiting for. This is it. This is the updated, changed up, refreshed Chevrolet Equinox, but guess what? We don't have just any old Equinox. This is the all new for 2022 trim known as the Equinox RS. But before we get into this compact SUV from Chevy, let's talk about what's going on here. The compact SUV segment of the auto industry is probably one of the toughest. You got some big key players. Of course, the mighty Toyota RAV4 that's been around since 1994, if you could believe that. You're also going to get the Honda CR-V, Mazda CX-5, Kia Sportage, and the Hyundai Tucson. Now, some of the vehicles that I mentioned have gone through a total redesign. Some of them have not had any changes, like the CR-V, and some of them have also had some refresh styling, like this Equinox. Now, for 2022, they decided to add the RS trim. What does RS stand for? It actually stands for Rally Sport. It's not a performance trim, it's something that goes with extra appearance when it comes to that sporty style. Now, of course, like I said, lots of vehicles to choose from in this segment, but what I want to do is I want to really compare it to the two big players, the two big dogs on the block. It's going to be the RAV4 and the CR-V. Let's go ahead, let's find out what's new for 2022, and let's see, has Chevy done enough with this Equinox RS trim to persuade you to come and buy this vehicle? So let's go ahead and find out with our Equinox RS. So right off the bat, like I said, RS Rally Sport, it's going to be a little bit of a sportier appearance. Now, at the front end of the business, what are some of the changes? You're going to get a whole new headlight and front fascia change up. So I like the way you're going to be getting LED headlights on the RS trim, and they did do a split housing setup, but the great news is, unlike the Blazer where the headlights are much lower, they kept the headlights nice and high, because here are your LED headlights, here are your LED daytime running lamps. I like on the RS trim, you're gonna get this black chrome finish on the grille. This is something new for 2022. Working your way down, RS trim gets black accents, lower exterior lighting, and I think the zonk that I have is gonna be this fake vent area. I don't mind the black, but the fake vent has gotta go. I wish that they would have done something a little bit different, maybe just made this all color body matched and left it black down here on this lower section, but that is something that's non-functional. But like I said, with the touches, the RS has that blackout appearance. Now, as you come across the updated, upgraded grille, this is specific to the RS trim. So you're gonna get gloss black. I love the way that they did the blacked out bow tie, forward-facing camera on this compact Equinox, and of course the RS trim. It doesn't stand for really smart, it stands for Rally Sport. It's interesting because if you go back to the 1960s, you could get a Chevrolet Camaro that was an SS, but it could also be an RS SS, because you could have that Rally Sport appearance package on your SS Camaro. So that's what RS, all that history comes from. I like the way they kind of angled the front lower bumper, nice crisp line coming from the forward-facing camera all the way down, and then you're gonna have a large opening that is fully functional and just a little bit of gloss black on the lower portion. Now, as we get up onto the low slung hood, you do have that peak. Everything kind of comes to a V formation. You have a peak, goes all the way towards the windshield, and then I'm also digging the way that they did the lower indentations on each side of the hood. Now, as we come around the bend on our RS trim, what do we got? No flat black. So if you're comparing this to the CR-V, if you're comparing this to the RAV4, even if you're comparing it to the CX-5, they all have flat black plastic around the fender opening, not on our Equinox RS. Here's another thing you're gonna get, these Android gray wheels, 19-inch wheel. Love this style, and I'm so glad they didn't do gloss black on the wheels. That would have just been gloss black overkill, but this Android gray, you know what? These are not the droids you're looking for, but these are definitely the wheels that you're looking for on your Equinox. But it's a 19-inch wheel, looking great in the sun, has a nice metallic finish to it. Of course, it's front-wheel drive, but you can also get this vehicle and all-wheel drive as well. But continuing down the side, you're gonna get nice cohesive blacked out badges on the RS. So we got our Equinox badge, blacked out. Down below, you do have flat black along the sill. And then up top, you are getting color matched. Look at the sparkle. It reminds me of my favorite bowling ball back when I was a kid on the bowling ball team. Our team was known as the Killer Bees. Watch out, because we'll sting you in the face. You do have your LED turn signals on the corners. And then working your way towards the back, you'll notice that we have the optional crossbars on our standard roof rack system. So you have your roof rails, which are going to be blacked out for the RS trim, but then we have the addition of the crossbars. Put your kayak, put your mountain bike up there. Really looks clean and easy to get to. It's at a good height and makes this Equinox very versatile. We have our gloss black for the RS trim around our window treatment, color matched on the door handles. And then like I was saying, with these wheels and tires, they look really good with the setup that we have. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this? You're looking at 235 on the width and 50 series sidewall, all four corners. This one's front wheel drive, but you can get all wheel drive. Great look and shape to the quarter window. You look at the CR-V, you look at the RAV4, they go with a more generic shape. Really like the way they put the D-pillar and then separated the rear glass from the rest of the side glass on the Equinox. And then coming to the tail end of the business, they wrap it off with some updated taillights, LED taillights, RS badging looking great. You do get a stubby short roof spoiler off the back. I wish they would extend this out a little bit further to take care of this guy right here, that rear wiper. But you'll notice, just like up front, how everything has a V, there's also a V on the rear lift gate as well. And then going all the way down, look what they did. Blacked out on the badge, Equinox badge. We got some of that dark chrome finish here, looking slick. A little bit of flat black, but I really like what they did on the lower bumper area. This is all new for 2022 on the back side of things. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk horsepower numbers in our Equinox RS. Right, guys, we got the hood pop. We do have a prop rod, but every other vehicle in this segment has a prop rod. The CR-V, the CX-5, RAV4, and of course the Sportage and the Tucson. Underneath the hood, you'll notice you get that Ecotec engine. Now what's interesting is that they brought back the choice of two different engine options. And that is unique to this vehicle because a lot of the other competitors, you kind of get one engine and that's it. So what are we looking at on our particular Equinox RS? It's the 1.5 liter turbocharged inline four. What we're looking at horsepower wise, 170 horsepower, 203 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. So unlike the CR-V and some of the other competitors, there is no CVT on the Equinox. 0 to 60 in our particular one is 8.7 seconds. Now, if that seems too slow to you, you can get the optional 2-liter turbocharged inline four. Plus, like I was saying, you could add all-wheel drive. But on our particular RS, MPGs, you're gonna get a good return, 26 in the city, 31 on the highway. The vehicle weighs 3,325 pounds, can tow up to 1,500 pounds, and has a ground clearance of almost 8 inches. I do like the way there's no engine cover. You actually have the cam cover up top with the Ecotec name on it, and you can easily see the turbocharger underneath that heat shielding up front. But like I was saying, new for 2022, not only is there an RS trim, but you can get a separate engine if that's the direction you want to go in. But what we're going to do now is, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get to the interior and see what the RS trim brings to the Equinox table. All right, guys, we're inside this Equinox RS. Now, I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, Joe, you keep saying that the Equinox is refreshed for 2022. I would have sworn that I watched a Raiti's Rides review back in 2020, and you told me that the 2021 Equinox was going to be all refreshed. Well, guess what? You are correct. We were the first at the Chicago Auto Show in 2020, before the pandemic, to bring you the Equinox all refreshed. But guess what? Because of supply chain issues, because of factories being shut down and postponed and delayed and everything else, Chevrolet decided, you know what? The best thing to do is wait until 2022. So kind of exciting for us to bring you this now from Dimmitt Chevrolet, because like I said, at the Chicago Auto Show 2020, we brought you the Equinox first with the refreshed touches. Now I know you're at that point where you're like, all right, Joe, thank you for setting me straight. I didn't want to think that I was crazy and I had to check myself into a hospital to get some help, because I do have the car bug and I'm car crazy, just like you are, Joe. And you're right, I am car crazy, but I don't want any help. But anyways, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, how much is this? Because I'm about to pull the trigger on a compact SUV. I'm looking at the RAV4. How much is this one? So this Equinox RS, the way that you see it optioned, has an MSRP of right around $36,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. So what you're going to get is some clean style. Now I am going to have to zonk right up top at the front of the door panel near the handle there to open up the door. It is hard plastic. But the good news is, as you work your way towards the back of the door, it does get softer, including on the armrest. The RS trim gets the red stitching. And then the good news is no gloss black. It's all flat black plastic, so you don't have to worry about fingerprints. And the door pocket is a good enough size to where you could go ahead, go to Arby's, get 2 beef and cheddars, and a whole box of horsey sauce, plus a bottle of Surge to wash it down. Next to the door pocket is the optional Bose sound system. So when you go RS, you are going to get the Bose sound system. Going from the door panel to the dash, I do like the touches that they did here, especially in the center. Soft touch with the red stitching. And then you have the black chrome accents around the AC vents, which is another nice thing to tie in with the grille. And then guess what? We get our 8-inch infotainment system. Now I know you're saying, well, Joe, it's only 8 inches. Maybe you've been told that in your life, but you know what? 8 inches is something to really enjoy because it's a good size. It's integrated nicely into the dash. It's not going to give you a bunch of glare. Plus for 2022, we got wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You do have your full navigation system. And then my favorite part is, on any GM are their cameras. Check out the resolution. So there's our forward-facing camera with trajectory. We got 360-degree cameras. And then to go through them, look at this. Talk about parking, talk about navigating. There's those beautiful Android gray 19-inch wheels. You got your toe. That's where you're going to have your toe hook up there. But just real nice to go through all of these different screenshots. And then they're all high resolution. You can see the great swipe features, very fast reacting. Watch. 1, 2, 3, swipe. 1, 2, 3, swipe. Swipe, 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 swipe. So you could easily get swiped, real easy setup on this infotainment. Now, when it comes to your AC vents, you got your dual climate, which is a pleasure to operate. I like the way it's got the digital readouts on the knobs. Heated seats, but no ventilated seats. So that's a little bit of a bummer that there's no ventilated seats. You do have all your push button controls, and it's all flat black. And then down below, what do we have? We have a nice little cubby area for 4 Twinkies, a USB-C, a USB-A, an aux jack, and a 12-volt. Close it up. I'm going to put this back. The RS comes with its own specific shifter. How do I know this in RS? It literally says RS right there in the red. It's got the red stitching, 2 cup holders. You do have your same Chevy key fob. Nothing wrong with that, but it would have been nice for it to say RS on it. Flip it around, you do have remote start. You got another little cubby here for cinnamon red hots. Say you want to have a nice, not minty fresh, but you want some cinnamon hotness in your mouth. You could pop those in right there. Soft on the armrest, red stitching, just like those cinnamon hot pieces of candy. Open it up, what do we got? At 7-Eleven, you could put your egg roll in the egg roll holder. Get them at 7-Eleven with some duck sauce. You could dip it right in there. USB-A's, 2 of them, and enough room, I would say, easily 6 hot dogs. So if you're at 7-Eleven, get yourself the egg roll. Try to get one that hasn't been turning on the wheel too long, because that's real hard and crunchy. And then you could get a bunch of hot dogs in there for your trip as you're going across the state. And then the seats. All new material, leather on the RS with the red stitching, the piping. nice soft bolstering. You do have manual controls for the passenger. I have electric assist over here as the driver, but the other big news on the RS is you are getting that panoramic sunroof. So real nice, easy operation all the way back. One touch. Look, Mom, no hands. But why don't you come over here, because I want to show you where you can place your hands on this Equinox RS. All right, guys, here we are, business end. Now, you are going to get a nice little Equinox sill badge name here. It would have been even better if they did it in some type of dark chrome finish. So I am going to zonk that, but I am not going to zonk the all-weather mats. Look at how high they come up on the sides, so you're not going to get the carpet all sandy from when you're at the beach walking around in your Reeboks, your Reebok pumps. Speaking of pumps, you pump the button here, and that's the electric assist. I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of headroom in here. My one thing that I want to complain about the seat and zonk about the seat is I wish the bottom portion extended. Just look how much of my leg is unsupported. I would like that to maybe come right about there. Or at least give me a hamstring extension so I could really be comfortable. Steering wheel though, you're gonna grip it with ease because you got the red stitching from the RS Rally Sport trim all the way around, blacked out on the bow tie. This is a missed opportunity. Give me RS right there, please. You have the rubber style buttons, remind me of a Game Boy, but you know what? No fingerprints, and it's gonna be easy to figure out. You got your heated steering wheel, and then I do like the way they did the gloss black just around the perimeter here. Give it that extra look. You do have a tilting and telescoping steering wheel, manual control. And then the dash, if you were hoping for full digital display, you need to hope a little bit harder because this has a small digital display in the center, but other than that, you got full analog setup. Nothing wrong with that. I think the analog gauges are super clear and easy to read. And then of course, in that center display, you can scroll through different information, and that kind of gives you the balance. But let me know if you wish this had a full, maybe 10-inch digital display. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat and see how your passengers are gonna like this Equinox RS. All right, guys, here we are, back seat time. And this is really where the Equinox kind of shines. There's a lot of room back here, even more so than the RAV4 or the CR-V. Of course, you're gonna get the full weather protection on the floor, which is great, especially with your dirty kids. We all know that they step in dog poo and stuff, and they're just gonna get that all mucked up on your interior. We have nice, good-sized pockets. What I recommend putting in here is rotating different volumes of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Tell them to put away their damn electronics and do the good old-fashioned reading through the Encyclopedia Britannica. It worked for me, and look at where I'm at now. Back seat area, you are gonna get rear AC vents, which is great. And they do give you USB-A's. Plus, I love the way they give you a home power source. So even though you're just gonna bring the encyclopedias, if they do wanna fight you on bringing technology, you do have connectivity. Maybe do it like once you read through a volume, then you get to charge your phone or your video game system or whatever you're bringing on the trip. But you have to read first. That's the tip. It's like eating dinner and then you get to have your dessert. I got plenty of room over here. It's actually quite ridiculous how much room that I have. Now the seats, they don't slide, but you can adjust the recline. So I could actually set it up here or lock it all the way in. Fold this down, nice high armrest. I mean, look at this. I'm chilling like a villain. I could scratch my chin very easily. Look. Wow, 2 cup holders. Why don't we go ahead though, why don't we get into that cargo area and see how it competes with the CR-V and the RAV4. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, probably one of the most important things of any family who's looking at an SUV of any size is gonna be the amount of cargo space. Now, before I open it, I do wanna showcase, we got the hazards on so you can see the taillights illuminated. You do have that blacked out bow tie on the back as well with the RS. And what's really awesome is you're getting electric assist on this Equinox. What are you greeted to? You're greeted to a nice large opening. I'm so glad that this one has the all-weather protection, cargo mat and the backs of the seats, so you can get those dirty objects like after the beach and bring it in there and not have to worry about messing up the carpet. You could just take the mats out and wash them off and put them right back in. Now, what are we looking at room-wise? With the seats up, you're looking at a very generous, almost 30 cubic feet of space, fold the seats down, you're looking at almost 64 cubic feet of space. Now the great news is, on the passenger side here, you do have a 12 volt for when you're going to the beach, and then the handles are right here. So 1, 2, 3, we're just gonna lift up, and then that's just gonna make the seats fold down, and you can see it really gives you a nice large opening of space. Plus you have nooks back here for the required family trip of ding-dongs and Twinkies so that the kids don't get hangry on you. But I love the way it's got the room. I love the way it's got the handles to fold down those seats. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go take this refreshed Equinox for a little spin. All right, guys, we're in this 2022 Chevy Equinox RS. We're leaving Dimmitt Chevrolet and we're pulling away. And what you're gonna notice right off the bat are all the touches that the RS package brings. I like the shifter, the steering wheel, the leather's really nice on the steering wheel. And then, like I was pointing out, you may think that you need a larger infotainment system because your best friend has a larger one than you, but really this 8-inch gets it done so nicely. The navigation and then the cameras, like I showed you, are just from another world. Now, you can scroll, like I was telling you, through the different things on that small digital display, and I wish they would have put something a little bit more RS focused on the gauges, since this is an RS trim. But definitely the red stitching throughout, they were very consistent with the stitching. It's not like there's some stitching that's black, some stitching that's white, some stitching that's gray. You do have a consistent color throughout the whole inside of this Equinox. Headroom, passenger room is fantastic. And then, like I pointed out, no CVT transmission, which also makes this a little bit more engaging to drive. Now I'm gonna slow down a little bit here and then we're gonna go on throttle. Let me slow down a little bit more. See how we go. On throttle, here we go. So it drops down and we are off and running in this front wheel drive Equinox. I tell you, from a slow roll, it's definitely on the peppier side. And if you need more power, guess what? Chevy took care of you for 2022, and you could option in the 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine. But very nice to see the options, and the shifts are very smooth from the 6-speed, great visibility, and then you have that refresh style on the exterior. Is it perfect? No. There's some things that definitely need to be kind of changed up a little bit, especially the lower portion of the seats with that cushion being on the shorter side. But it does have a nice comfort to the seats, and they hold you well without being too obtrusive. So that's the good news. The bad news, like I was saying, is just some of the materials. I wish they would have done something with the whole door panel rather than just the back portion of it. Same thing here. This is hard plastic. This is the softer material. But I do like on the RS, you get the panoramic sunroof. I think that's a popular option for a lot of people. You get the leather interior, which is going to be easy to keep clean. And then you got the great forward-facing camera and 360 cams. But we're going to take this out on the highway and see how the new Equinox RS drives, especially with the 19-inch wheels. On throttle, here we go. So definitely, like I was saying, a peppy engine from the 1.5-liter inline-4. You don't have to worry about any 3-cylinder options in this, like on the Bronco Sport. So the good news is they're both turbocharged inline-4 setups in here. Side mirrors work great. You got all the safety features, blind spot monitoring, all that good stuff to keep you and your family safe. And the noise isn't too bad when it comes to road noise and wind noise. Now remember, we do have the optional crossbars up top, so that is going to create a little bit extra turbulence. But other than that, this thing drives really, really nicely. And definitely the back portion of the seats are super comfy. But hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel of what the Equinox RS is bringing. New trim for 2022. Finally, the new style. We're gonna get back to Dimmitt Chevrolet and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. It's been another great day here at Dimmitt Chevrolet. I definitely gotta thank Raheel, Eli, and the rest of the team getting us their very first 2022 Equinox RS. Let me know what you think. Has Chevrolet done the right changes to make this a more viable option for you? Would you rather go RAV4? Would you rather go CR-V? Put it in the comment section. I'm dying to find out. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raity's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Raity's Rides merch. Got to give it up to the queen behind the camera. She is an RS, but you know what? That stands for really smart. Lori is doing the business and doing the work. Show her some love in that comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.